This video is I'm going to be giving a review of the quarter four exam. And so I'm going to go ahead and do the even problems. And I'll start with number 2. And it says, find the area of the circle. Leave your answer in terms of pi. So we know that the area of a circle is pi r squared. Now, the common mistake that people make is that the diameter is 2.6 meters. Remember that the radius is half of the diameter, so this would be 1.3 meters. So it says area is equal to pi times the radius. In this case, it's 1.3, and you're going to have to square it. So A is equal to, and I'm just going to do real quick here, 1.3 squared. It's 1.69, so the area is going to be 1.69 pi. And it's going to be meters squared, so your answer is A. Number 4, we have to write an equation of a circle in standard form. Remember, the formula will be x minus h squared plus y minus k squared equals the radius squared. Now, this will be your h, which is your x value, and this is your k, and of course we have our radius. So it's going to be x minus a negative 4, so it's x plus 4 squared plus y minus 2 squared. Now here's where a lot of students make a mistake. The radius, they just say 6, but you have to square it. And 6 squared gives you 36. The only options we have is A and C. So the answer should be, in this case, it's going to be A. And that's a minus there, so that's A. For number 6, we have find the values of the variables in the parallelogram. We remember that in a parallelogram, opposite sides are parallel. And we also know that opposite angles are congruent. So if this is 96, then this has to be 96 degrees. Now, this angle is 31. This angle is 31. So we know that this angle is 31. Now you need to remember that we have two lines that are parallel, that are cut by a transversal. Then we know that alternate interior angles are congruent. If this is 31 and this is 96, then to find y, it will be 180 minus the sum of 31 and 96, which gives you, if I'm not mistaken, so 6 plus 1 is 7, so it's 127. And so the difference of 127 and 180 is 180 minus 127. So it's 353. So this is 53 degrees. So we know that Z is 96. So these two have Z of 96. We have Y is 53 and X is 31. So your answer is B. Number 8, for the parallelogram, if the measurement of angle 2 is 4x, this is 4x minus 20, and we know that the measurement of angle 4 is 3x minus 11, we need to figure out the measure of angle 1. Well, we know that opposite angles in a parallelogram are congruent, so you have 4x minus 20 equals 3x minus 11. So we subtract 3x from both sides. So we have x minus 20 equals negative 11. We're going to add 20 to both sides. So x is equal to 9. So if you want to figure out the measurement of angle 1, we need to figure out what is the measure of angle 2. And we do that by substitution. So we have 4 times 9 minus 20. So 4 times 9 is 36 minus 20 gives you 16 degrees. So this is 16 degrees, and this is 16 degrees. Now, one of the properties that we know in a parallelogram are that consecutive angles are supplementary. So if we want to find the measure of angle 1, then it's going to be 180 minus the 16. So in this case, it's 7, so it's 4, 6, so it's 164 degrees. So this is 164 degrees, and this is 164 degrees. So your answer is C for 8. For number 10, in a parallelogram DEFG, we have DH. DH is x plus 2. And we know that GH is 4x minus 3. And we know that HE is 5y plus 1. We need to find the values of x and y. We know in a parallelogram that the diagonals bisect each other. So we have x plus 2 equals 2y. And the other equation is 4x minus 3 equals 5y plus 1. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to solve this by substitution. So I'm going to use this equation. So I'm going to use that equation. It's going to be, and I'm going to solve for x. So x equals 2y minus 2. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to substitute into the second equation. So I have 4 parentheses 2y minus 2 minus 3 equals 5y plus 1. So we have 2 times 2y, which we're going to apply the distributive property. So it's 8y. 4 times negative 2 is minus 8. Minus 3 equals 5y plus 1. So we have 8y minus 11 equals 5y plus 1. We add 11 to both sides. So I'm going to write it here on the side. So we have 8y equals 5y plus 12. We subtract 5y from both sides. So it's 3y equals 12 divided by 3. So y equals 4. So we know that y equals 4. So it isn't A, it isn't B, and it isn't D. So it has to be C. So we have x. We have x, and we're just going to substitute into the other equation. 2 times 4 minus 2. 2 times 4 is 8. 8 minus 2 is 6. So your answer is C. For number 12, we're finding the area of the triangle. So the area of the triangle is going to be base times height divided by 2. So the area is 10 yards by 3 yards, and then we're dividing by 2. Remember, that area is going to be 30 square yards divided by 2, which gives us 15 square yards. So your answer is D. 14, we're going to find the area of the trapezoid. And to find the area of the trapezoid, it's going to be 1/2. And we're going to have base 1 plus base 2 times the height. So we have A equals 1/2. Base 1 is 5. We don't know base 2. The height is 5. So we know that this is 45, and we know that's 90. So therefore, this is 45 degrees. So this has to be 9, because that is an isosceles right triangle. And we know that from this distance to this distance is 5. So 9 plus 5 is 14 plus 2 is 16. So to find the area, it's going to be 1/2 5 plus 16 times 5. So remember, we want to be accurate. Make sure you type it into the calculator correctly. So we have 1/2 parentheses 5 plus 16 times 5. And what do you get? And if you get something like this, 105 over 2, it's going to be 52.5. And what I just did is I just made a mistake, and I'm glad that I picked it up. I had put 5 originally, but it's actually 9. So, and that could happen on the test. So you need to make sure that you check your work. So you have 5 plus 16 times 9. So it's 94.5. And it's going to be 94.5 squared centimeters, okay? Use formulas to find the lateral and the total surface area of the given prism. Now, to find the lateral area, you have to find the perimeter of the base, and then you multiply times the height. So in this case, we have 13. This is also 13 meters, and this is also 4 meters. So the perimeter is going to be 4 plus 4, which is 8. 4 meters plus 4 meters plus 13 meters plus 13 meters. So in this case, it's going to be 8 meters plus 26 meters, which gives you 34 meters. Now, what you have to do now to find the lateral area, you have to multiply the perimeter, in this case it's 34 meters, times the height, which is 4 meters. So 34 times 4, 4 times 4 is 16, 4 times 3 is 12, so it's 136 meters squared. So which of these is 136 meters squared? So it's actually C and B. So you're gonna go ahead and cross out A and D. Now to find the total area, now you have to find the area of each base, which are actually rectangles. So I'm gonna find the area of the rectangle. So the area of the base, which is a rectangle, is 4 times 13, right? So 4 times 3 is 12. So it's 52 meters squared. Now there's 2 of them, top and bottom, so you get 104 meters squared. So you want the total area, so it's 104 plus 136, the lateral area. So 4 plus 6 is 10, 4, so it's 240. So your answer is C. To find the total surface area, you have to find the area of the base. In this case, it's a circle, and since you have 2 of them, it's going to be 2 times pi r squared. Plus, you have to find the lateral area, so it's going to be 2 times pi times r times h. Now, h is 19 centimeters. So the height is 19 centimeters, but the radius, you got to be careful, is 9 centimeters, so it's going to have to be 4.5. So we have 2 times pi, and then we have 4.5 squared plus 2 times pi times 4.5 times 19 centimeters. So 2 times pi times 4.5 squared will give you 40.5 pi. 2 times pi times 4.5 times 19 gives you 171 pi. So altogether, you will get 211.5 pi centimeters squared. So your answer is A. Remember, you had to leave it in terms of pi. When it says there, you just leave the pi there, okay? For 22, we have to find the area of this triangular prism. And to find the volume, it's going to be the area of the base times the height. And I'm going to go ahead and draw the base here on the side. I know that it's going to be equilateral. What's equilateral? And since it's equilateral, it's equal angular. That means that this is 60. This is 60. This bisects it, so it's going to be 30. So this distance is 7. And so the height is going to be 7 times the square root of 3. So to find the area of the base is a triangle. So it's going to be 7 times the square root of 3 times 14 divided by 2. And so what I'm going to do, I'm going to type it in here. Control division. 7 times the square root of 3 times 14 divided by 2. And that gives me 84.9. That's yards squared, or square yards. So it's 84.9 times the height of the triangular prism. In this case, it's 25. So now I just have to multiply by 25. So it's 2,121. So your answer is B. So it's 2,121.8, and it's cubic yards. Cubic yards. Anything with pyramids, I'm not going to be able to teach you this year, so I'm not going to hold you accountable for pyramids. So I'm going to go ahead and find the volume of this cylinder. I know it's an odd number, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. So you have V equals pi, and the radius is 3.8 squared, and the height of the cylinder is 8. It does say to leave it in terms of pi, so we're not going to multiply times the actual pi. So it's 3.8 squared times 8, and it's 115.52 pi, and it's cubic meters. We're going to find the volume of a right cone, and I'm showing you the cone here so we know that the height is 26 meters. Now the 18 represents the measurement of the diameter, so you have to divide that by 2. So just make sure you understand that you have to divide by 2. So it's 18 divided by 2, which gives you 9. So it's going to be pi 9 squared. The height is 26 divided by 3. So V equals, and so you're going to type in 9 squared times 26 divided by 3. Enter. So you get 702. I paused there for a minute, but I noticed that it didn't say to leave it in terms of pi. So this one you're going to have to multiply times pi, and when I multiplied, I got 2,205.4 meters cubed.